And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
No, gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes
Slack.
Slack.
A push from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
They don't call it the Monster Mile for nothing. And it's not just because there's a 46-foot tall, muscle-bound statue outside the gates named Miles the Monster. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dover Motor Speedway in Delaware for the Overtake iRacing League Truck Series, race number 10 of the season. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, alongside Morgan Cook, our producer and co-commentator, and Cody Anderson, Overtake iRacing League Xfinity and Cup Series driver. Glad you guys are with us today as we go around the concrete mile that is in Delaware. The tires, that's the most important thing that we can talk about here. Dover Motor Speedway is it is exactly that. It's a monster of a race, and exactly 1 mile in length. It tears the tires clean off these things.
This is the longest 1 mile racetrack I've ever witnessed, I've ever driven on, and it will free you up in a hurry. You'll go into the corner, feel like everything's fine. 5 laps later, you can't drive it because you're backed up into the fence. This place will bite you every single time.
And so a lot of things in history here at this racetrack. You go on to look at the first-time winners or drivers that have success at this racetrack. It's also kind of coincides with the fact that drivers become champions later on, especially in the NASCAR series. And, 4 or 5-time winners. You've got Richard Petty, Bobby Allison, David Pearson in that name that just did amazing at this racetrack, and it really boiled down to driver talent. The humps off of turn 2 and turn 4, you'll find yourself in the outside wall if you're not careful, finding yourself on the throttle too soon or not counter steering to come out of those corners. It's kind of like a dirt track in that aspect.
That's right. You have to drive this thing loose, and there is nobody better at doing that than Jimmy Johnson. I think he won here 11 times, if I'm not mistaken. The all-time winningest driver at this racetrack, and he can do it better than anyone.
So 1 mile, 24-degree banking in the turns, 9-degree on the front stretch, and that's both the back and front. Kind of a tunnel, if you will, when you get to that back straightaway, because if anybody wrecks on that backstretch, it clogs up quick. But this typical shaped oval, and we have D-oval, that's my bad on the graphic, but a conventional oval here tonight in Delaware. Let's take a look at your race analysis here tonight. 100 laps, stage break at lap 35. We'll have 3 green-white checkered attempts, and as always, on the iRacing fixed setups. These drivers are going to have very limited tire sets, as always. 3 key tire sets, and look for them to use all 3 of those. I don't think you want to come out of this place with an extra set, Morgan.
No, it'd be not like the Cup race on Sunday. You'll use every one of them. You might even be asking Cody for more later in this race.
Yeah, Cody down there on pit road. He'll be our in-race reporter, and he'll be talking a little bit about the statistics, some of the ways and thoughts that these guys handle this racetrack. I believe Dover already on the schedule for one of these leagues, one of these series, if I'm correct on that. And Cody, for the experience of this racetrack, what does it take to get around this place?
That's honestly, it's just a lot of patience. That's Cup Series has already visited this track in the Overtake iRacing League, and trucks will be the second and final series that will visit this track. But a lot of it's just going to be waiting for those tires to come in and just being patient with your passing and everything. Because just like you said, everything funneling down to the bottom. It's not just on the backstretch. This whole track is a self-cleaning track. If you wreck, everything is going down to the bottom of the track, and if you're not paying attention, it don't take much to get caught up in somebody else's mistake.
So with that, let's go trackside now and get the grid here for the Overtake iRacing League Truck Series race number 10 down there on the speedway now. Well, starting on your pole here tonight, it's going to be the number 24 of Sean Kaser with a blazing time of 22.585. And right next to him, only about 15 hundredths of a second off, that's Bobby Hall Jr. in the number 94. Christopher McCullough is going to be in row number 2 with Chad Ross. And then row number 3 has Alex Healy and Travis Bieber in the 114. Row number 4, Dustin Reinstedel, Barrett Morton in the 8th spot. And rounding out your top 10 here tonight, Lucas Lyons and Andy Kurtz.
Starting in 11th tonight is that wood grain machine. That's Eric Parks right beside Nick Gardner in the Napa number 16. Starting 13th, David Sheets right beside Kyle Mace in 14th. 15th will be Justin Branham, and I believe one of the only Fords in the field, Stephen Page, alongside him in 16th position. 17th, Wes Wiegand, right beside James Kaufman. That is row 9. Row number 10, Peyton Hubbard in the Bad Fast 51. Beside him, Daniel Cunningham in the 08 Chevy Silverado.
And from 21st, it's Kenneth McCullough Jr., John Mullahan next to him on the outside. Tom Hall will start in the 23rd position with Daniel Worthington in the 113. Brian Kaser in the 07, 25th. Ron Morris Jr., 26th spot. And rounding out your field of 28 trucks, it's going to be Michael Robinson, who has not hit the grid yet, and Jeremiah Hobbs in the number 10. So while we have this opportunity to bring a driver into our booth, we're going to talk to the driver of the number 16 machine. That would be Nick Gardner. Let's bring him up into the broadcast booth. Nick Gardner, it's Morgan Cook, Bradley Cooper, and Cody Anderson in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you, man.
And Nick, this track, we've seen you've had success here. You're going to be starting near the top 10. You're just outside of it, but mid-pack here tonight, what's the strategy? What's the keys to success at this race?
Man, just saving the right front, kind of letting everyone race and wear their stuff out. You know, the fuel runs roughly about 40 to 45, so I feel like wearing your right front out, a lot of guys are going to do that. So as long as I'm patient, kind of just take them one by one and try to make my way to the front and not only get stage points, but hopefully have a good finish.
Well, Nick, we thank you for your time. Good luck out there tonight, starting from the 12th spot. We'll see you maybe post-race.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
It's Nick Gardner, C2 Motorsports driver, but here we go, set to take the green for the first time today. Pace truck has pulled off, and we're coming out of turn 4. Barney the flagman gonna wave it for the first time. We're live from the Monster Mile in Delaware. Coming around to lead lap number 1 is the 24 of Sean Kaser, your pole sitter. On the outside is the 04 of Christopher McCullough, trying to get a position up on the 94 of Bobby Hall. And I don't know if you guys saw it in the graphic or not there. We were on the lower cam, the gopher cam down in turn 1. Did you see the dirt on this racetrack here tonight? It needs cleaned off.
You can see the rocks flying off the back of this 24 is leading the race. He's cleaning the track for everyone. You'll hear pings off the car, and it's a little unsettling this fast.
Already a move to the inside. Bobby Hall's going to take over the lead. The 04 follows suit. Takes that line to the bottom of the racetrack. The top 5 changing hands slowly. Alex Healy has worked up a position. He's up to 4th now. Chad Ross back a spot. Dustin Reinstedel on the move, as well as Nick Gardner. He's up to 9th. Parks gets a little peek on the inside. Sorry about that.
Looking at
Gardner
this
was going to get it to
already,
him.
it's going to be an inside dominated track this whole race. That's unless this bottom gets used up too much. I don't see them going to the middle at all, unless they're trying to avoid something or making a late break pass.
We've seen these lines. Oh, a car in the wall there. That was the 38 Chad Ross. But we've seen these lines work up the racetrack ever since this dynamic track has came back. And so when drivers favor one spot of the track at the beginning of this race, we have seen it move and transition, as it should with dynamic track. However, Dover being such a line-sensitive track, if you don't want to get freight trained, you have to pick that line and stay in it. You already saw the top 5 change hands very early in this race. And with Bobby Hall taking over the lead, now he can dictate. He's probably going to keep the 04 at bay for a while unless he gets the nose inside.
I think it's going to be a lot of small bump and runs, and I think there's going to be some tempers flaring by the end of this race.
Cars that are a little bit off pace here tonight. David Sheets has lost 5 positions, down 6 spots for Travis Bieber. A couple of these drivers struggling, and maybe because of starting on the outside, that freight train gets, you see, already single file from about first back to the 15th position. You have to go all the way back to Stephen Page and Justin Brenham to find any side-by-side. And a truck into the wall. That's actually Justin Brenham. Andy Kurtz moves to the bottom. We know Kurtz can be aggressive if you talk about bump and runs. I seem to recall a couple races here on V-Speed where he wasn't shy with the bumper. Martinsville comes to mind.
I don't know, Cody, you said the top line wouldn't be very good, but top line to the point right here, riding on board with Chad Ross in that 38 machine. Saw the 94 get loose coming out of 2, like Bradley mentioned at the top of the show, and it's going to clear coming off turn 4.
Yeah, seeing this, there's about 3 guys that are hitting that top line now, and they're making some moves with it. I don't know if they're just trying to get their positions, because like Nick said, with the fuel run, they can make it to the stage, but the question is going to be, can the tires make it to the stage as Healy coming off that top line gets to the wall?
That was Healy, right?
Yeah. Yep. That truck bounces off. He's got a little bit of right front damage. He doesn't lose a position, but luckily Sean Kaser wasn't on the inside when that happened because he changed probably a lane and a half after that rebound.
You called it self-cleaning. That's exactly what it is.
Oh, for sure.
You bounce off the wall, you come straight down the racetrack, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. 9 degrees of banking. That is as much of the corners as Indianapolis. So this place will wipe all the way down to the bottom, then probably come all the way back up, because that's just Dover.
Yep.
A lot of times when you wreck, it seems to be coming out of turn 2, so you're almost at a dead stop when you hit that back stretch, and you're just along for the ride. Anybody that's going by, you have about 2 car widths to make it around these wrecks. And now I'll move to the inside, the 04 on the inside of Bobby Hall into turn 1.
And it looks like Bobby's trying to get that high line to work since he got passed by 2 trucks up there. Looks like he's started to move up maybe about a lane down from where Parks is running currently, trying to get that 2nd spot back.
And speaking of Parks, he's up 9 positions. He started all the way back in the 11th spot to begin this race. How about that for the 73? The wood grain working well at the Monster Mile. And I mean, unconventional, most racetracks paved with asphalt, most trucks built out of aluminum and steel. This truck, wood grain, it almost fits. It's almost perfect as he gets passed now by the 94. They're almost 3 wide coming into 1 and 2.
Oh, good idea on the lift by the 04. That would have been a massive incident off of 2. 04 got tight. It's like the 73 might have got a little loose, came down the hill, and 04 backed out of it. No incident. We move forward.
Few hard chargers still back there, up 4 spots again for Nick Gardner. He's up to 8th. A couple guys that started outside the top 10 that are up to just outside of it. Stephen Page up 4 spots. Impressive moves, but the most impressive, Eric Parks so far, as he does lose another spot. He's only up 7 now. Seems like he maybe overdrove this thing, had a hot lap or 2 in him, but now the right front begging for that higher line. You can see him working his way higher and higher up the racetrack.
We're not even halfway through the fuel run yet, so if it hurts now, it's really going to hurt in 20 laps. And you're probably going to be moving from 4th place. I imagine he'll put the beeper on and start backing up through this field. Oh, big loose there.
Contact coming out of 4.
Ryan Stedel,
I think that was Nick
save.
Gardner and Ryan Stedel. Yeah, he held on to it, but I think Nick maybe helped him out a little bit there on the exit of 4.
Oh,
down to the outside. Here's again.
By
the
another
58
teammate,
checks up.
And there's a big wreck there.
There's the yellow. Everybody's able to dodge it. But Justin Branham slides sideways right behind Ryan Settle, who kind of triggered that yellow. I believe the 11 got some heavy front end damage as well. Take it back on the instant replay. Looked like Dustin just got loose on his own here, but that caused the checkup in the back.
He got a little bit of Southeast tutoring help there from Lucas Lyons.
He got help from another teammate. That's 2 times in about as many laps. He gets help from a teammate, and the second one is the one that spun him around.
Let's ride on board with the 58, because he had an interesting ride through this. He saw the whole thing happen, but was not part of the initial incident. You can see that red truck up ahead. That's Ryan Stedel getting a little help from his teammate right there, and then just a little cleaned up from behind by the 58. And
I want to be fair to the 48 of Lucas Lyons, though. There was a heavy check up there by the 11. He lifted out of the throttle. I don't think he thought he was going to make it through the corner being inside of Nick Gardner, so he lifted. And that was such a sudden checkup that I don't think Lucas really predicted it. You'll see it here as they come out of turn 2.
And off of 2, Ryan Settle had to get out of the throttle. He got tight. So I'm thinking the same deal here. Yeah, he's super tight. I mean, that's all you can do to stay off the 16, and you get turned by the 48. It is what it is. It's not Lucas's fault. That's just how racing goes sometimes, especially at Dover. We sound like we're being critical, but we're not.
I just want to shout out that only 5 trucks came down, 2 of them with just topping off with fuel. Michael Robinson, Jeremiah Hobbs come in and top off. Dustin Reinsettle obviously has some damage. Justin Branham, John Mullahan, all 3 of those trucks getting some damage repaired. And everyone else electing to stay out. Track position, so key and critical. And we also need to mention Chad Ross took over the lead here on about lap 15. Maybe a little earlier than that. He has led. Help me out, graphic. Help me out.
11.
Well, there you go. 11. So a little earlier than that. So about lap 9, he took over, and he's going to pass by for another one as we get set to double back up, go back green for the second time today. Top 5, Chad Ross, Bobby Hall Jr., Eric Parks, Christopher McCullough, and Sean Kaser, who was your pole sitter here today. Been flirting in and out of the top 5 all day long for some of these guys. I think this restart is going to be another one of those moments where guys just try to nab a position into turn 1.
You got to remember,
Let's hope the...
Go ahead, Cody.
Let's hope the lifelong term of cautions breed cautions does not happen right now, with that first one being 15 laps from what our stage is going to be.
And you just said it. We got 15 laps to the stage. You're going to have to go for it here. You can't be giving up spots, especially if you're flirting with the top 10 here. You got to get all the points you can for the championship hunt.
Yeah, coming to the end of this regular season, we got about 2 or 3 weeks left, I believe. All those playoff points, those are going to be a big difference on whether you make it to the championship 4 or not. And you get 1 for winning the stage, but if you don't win the stage, that's about all that you get for playoff points.
That back to go green here for the second time today. And the concern here for the stage break, also going to group these guys back up. I think they'll elect to come down and get 4 tires. But how about Chad Ross, launched out of a cannon? He's already 0.3 of a second out of turn 2. Heavy racing back here for 3rd, 4th, 5th position. These guys still side by side. Alex Healy gets around the outside of Sean Kaser. The 73 of Parks loses a position. The 04 McCullough up to 2nd. They are flirting with disaster here 2 by 2 as they exit these corners. It's going to get tighter and tighter. They're up to full song now. The 73 way up out of the groove there. He does get to drop back in line and defend for a moment. Lucas Lyons on the outside of Alex Healy. How about Kyle Mace in the 55 now on the move? He's up 6 positions now. He gets to the outside of Nick Gardner, and he's trying to complete this pass. They're still side by side from 4th back to 10th.
Just got really tight coming off
Kaser into the 55.
Contact.
And that's going to bring out another yellow.
Oh, we are self-cleaning. Oh, man. That's a lot of
Cautions breeding cautions. Kyle Mace is done for the day. That front end completely ripped off that machine. Watch this here with the 24. He gets to the inside of him. They end up taking it 3 wide with Gardner on the bottom. He takes the inside wall, 3 trucks. And then it continues on from there. That's the 03 of McCullough Jr., the 4 of Michael Robinson, heavy damage. The 58 gets it again. Sean Kaser, Kyle Mace, and probably Nick Gardner will be done for the day. I don't foresee these trucks getting repaired well enough to keep up.
No, not on a track like this with the load so high. You need every little bit of turn in this car. You're going to tear the right front right off of it.
Leader fakes pit road. That's looking at it. There's about 6 guys who night may be possibly over with the iRacing meatball flag.
That accident happening just inside the top 10 there. Nick Gardner had lost about 4 spots. He was looking to get 2 of them back. He dove to the inside. You saw Mace get a little loose off of turn 4. That opened up the door for 2 trucks that had the same idea. And unfortunately, that'll lead us to our second official caution of the night here at Dover. But while we're under yellow, we're going to step away for just a moment. We're going to take a quick commercial break here on V-Speed. You're watching the Overtake iRacing League Truck Series live from the Monster Mile. Back right after this.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The road gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Back here live from Dover, Delaware. Chad Ross is your leader here today. We've had 2 cautions. The second caution claiming officially three trucks. We have a few that are clearing up damage on pit road. Nick Gardner was involved. The 55 of Kyle Mace. Also, Sean Kaser, your pole sitter, back to 23rd spot. Those trucks heavily damaged after a turn 4 incident down the front stretch and a 3 wide. Unfortunately for those guys, it's going to reset their day, but we're approaching that stage break here on lap 28. We got to make it to lap 35 for those stage points, and we were talking about that briefly before we hit commercial and how important it is with only 2 races left to make and capitalize on that. You got to think these guys are aware and they're going to be hungry.
Watching that last run, watching that 48, he picked up quite a handful of spots just off that restart before that second caution came out. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him up there battling Ross and McCullough for that stage win.
Well, let's
Morgan
ride on board with them then. How's that sound? With your 4th place driver right now, Lucas Lyons. He goes up on this restart, but you were saying, Bradley?
Well, Morgan, you had a race last night where Lucas Lyons was self-proclaimed winner of that race. Did not work out for him, so you think a rebound here maybe for the 48 truck
well,
coming into tonight.
He only came a fender short. side by side in a 3-wide battle, and that's how close he was to winning last night. So I think he wants to get a little bit further ahead and win this race here in Dover.
Pace truck pulls off for the third time tonight, coming into the Geico restart zone right out of turn 4, and the 25 bounces the wall twice. That makes 3 wide going into 1, but they lift, and thankfully we're going to get through here for the restart.
That 04 didn't get a very good restart there, and with that leader starting on that top side, Luke's got a great jump there, and he's now to the inside of Ross for the lead. Coming to about 4 to go, 5 to go
Hubbard
to the stage, and we
51's
got one
around.
Oh, no.
That's going to claim 7-8 trucks here.
Oh,
Eric
no.
Parks is involved, the 5 of Kurtz.
I don't know what happened
And
there. Oh, jeez.
The 51 looked like Peyton Hubbard just got really loose coming off of turn 4. I don't know if he got any help to finish that truck off, but several competitive trucks are involved in this one. And the 51 Mobile 1 machine, here it is on your screen.
He's in the fence here, and I don't know why, if that was net code, but the 73 went up, 51 went down, and all of a sudden, a whole bunch of trucks caught up, and I think you said 6, 8, something like that, and I would have to say those numbers are probably pretty accurate, but here's another look at it. Going down the back, they're dooring each other a little bit into 3, nothing too crazy, that's casual contact around this place, and 51's going to get into the fence a little bit off the corner, 73 around his door, and kind of right there. 73 gets into him, kind of gets sucked into him a little bit, and up into Andy Kurtz. 25's in it, 1's in it, 113. 6 somehow avoided that.
I think if we go on board here with the 25 of James Kaufman, we'll have the best look at it. He was riding directly behind these 2 trucks when this happens. I guess it was actually the 5 of Kurtz, I think, that was actually behind them. But how about Kaufman? He goes drifting into turn 1, able to hold on to it. It was actually Andy Kurtz that was directly behind.
Let's give it one more look here. There is the 5 machine.
There's the door check into 3, and then they're going to do it again. I think the 51 just got pulled up into the fence, and the 73 thought he had room, but there really wasn't racetrack there.
Yeah, I'd have to say you're right. Just not quite realizing how much room there was between that top car and the outside wall, and all of a sudden you're wadded up, wrecked on the inside of the racetrack.
Quite a few trucks down pit road from 9th place on back have hit the pit stalls, and Daniel Cunningham, Alex Healy, there was quite a few trucks that got pieces of that indirectly, but the major ones, the 51 of Hubbard, the 5 of Kurtz, you saw the 25 of Mullihan get a little piece of it. Eric Parks, Wes Wiegand also down pit road getting some damage repaired. So a lot of competitive drivers on threat to go a lap down, and we only have 21 of them. Nick Gardner somehow able to maintain the lead lap even after all of that. He's still trying to get this damage repaired from that lap 20 caution that he was involved in. Tell you what, there's quite a few guys out here that are plenty fast enough. It's just whether or not they can survive.
From the sounds of race control, it looks like they're going to extend this stage break 1 lap to get a 1-lap dash, since the drivers were not able to pit, since this would technically take us to our stage break.
They're going to open pit road back up, get us rotated around, and we'll actually have to get the field bunched back up here this time by. We'll take the 1 to go. This would have been the stage break, but I think the way the caution fell, they'll extend it 1 lap, and Chad Ross will be the leader when we take the green flag. And I got to ask here, Cody, this racetrack notorious for the accidents, but it's also notorious for some strategy calls if it goes green. I mean, with the limited tire sets, you really have to pace yourself, and you'll have to think methodically, because when do you pit after this stage break if it stays green?
That's looking at it. They're going to take this green flag, come in a lap 36. The caution will come back out 37. From then, you're not going to go green again till maybe lap 40, lap 41. So you're going to have 60 laps. In all honesty, you can once stop it with the amount of fuel, but that first stop and even into the first 20 laps of that second stint, you're going to want to save those tires. Or if you want to push, you're going to have to hope and pray that you get a few cautions in the second stage. Otherwise, you're just going to fall to the back as fast as you're running.
Set to count it back down here. Pace truck will pull off this time by. Can the 38, who elected to start on the outside this time around, hold him off for one little shootout lap before the stage break. Lucas Lyons, Barrett Morton, Christopher McCullough, and Stephen Page, the top 5. Bobby Hall Jr., James Kaufman, Travis Bieber, Alex Healy, and Justin Branham, the top 10. Here we go, set back to go racing at the Monster Mile. The 38 of Chad Ross into the restart zone, onto the loud pedal, and we're back live and racing. And man, what a lag back there for Barrett Morton. He allowed 3 trucks to get by him.
Almost like the 9 truck missed a shift or something, because he just simply did not go. Battles for lead up here.
This battle for the lead is tight. The 48 to the inside. Will he get the nose? Will he get the edge? The 38 back on the outside now. Chad Ross hard into the fence, and the 48 across the line for the stage win. Lucas Lyons gets the stage, but barely. I don't know what they're going to do here, because if they freeze the field, that puts the 48 and the 38 back to the 7th, 8th position. They're going to have a lot to sort out here, Cody.
Yeah, looking at that, that's... You freeze for the stage as you cross the line, but the caution flag per league rules does not come out until that 10th car or truck crosses that line. So that's, since we extended, we use automatic cautions for our stage break and all that. But with this one extending it, race control themselves had to throw this one. So after this race is done, I'm sure we'll be going back and looking at stage results, making sure everything's all good to go.
That was close. I don't know if we have any other shot of that with the I believe it's the 04 McCullough, Kristen McCullough on the bottom of the racetrack through the front stretch. There we go, nice chopper cam. See if we can get who officially crossed that line. I want to say it was the 48, but not by much. And right here, the 38 just bounces the fence.
Yeah, 48 got him. 48, 38, 04, it looks like.
Well, that's one way to make the highlight reel tonight. That had shades of Darlington with Ricky Craven all over it. So
Thinking
now
more
officially,
Sterling Marlin and Kurt Busch.
no, that's Ricky Craven, Kurt Busch, my guy.
Oh. Can't call myself a
in,
NASCAR fan if I can't do that.
Back in 2003, I believe.
That's right, closest finish in NASCAR history. Darlington, when those 2 cars got stuck together, door banging down the front stretch and couldn't get off each other, and Ricky Craven got him by a couple inches maybe.
The setback to go. Travis Bieber elects to stay out. I would have to say the 114. Yeah, he's going to come down pit road. I think he was just out there to get a lap led. Daniel Cunningham will take over the lead here on lap 39. So stage winner, officially, unofficially, I'm going to call it here with the 48 of Lucas Lyons after Chad Ross bounces the wall on the exit of turn 4, and the top 3 there with the 04 of Christopher McCullough. And that was quite the finish for the excitement here at Dover. I've had a good time thus far, but another lead change. Jeremiah Hobbs up into the top 3. We have Justin Branham, who's had a rough day. He's in 3rd now. Alex Healy, he's been consistently in the top 5. He's been flirting with it all day long. He'll be in 4th. And David Sheets will round out the top 5 for this restart. Biggest mover of the race so far, Ron Morris Jr. in the 76 truck. He'll be up 20 spots here in the 6th spot.
I would say
And
Jeremiah
just
Hobbs,
up and down days.
up 26. 28th up to second spot.
Oh, that's right. Good call, Morgan.
So high up to the front, you didn't even see him. There he is in that 10
Yeah.
truck.
He's got the John Cena look here. I didn't see it. My bad. The 26 spots gained. Jeremiah Hobbs, the biggest mover, and an impressive move, though, by Ron Morse Jr. And some of these trucks, comers and goers, you're going to have that all night long, and some of these guys working the strategy. They stayed out during some of those cautions, and so they find themselves up here towards the front. Some guys getting damage repaired. You know, the 48 of Lucas Lyons, the 38 of Ross. They're both down here probably getting some more check downs, getting things squared away. You had guys that were involved in earlier cautions with the 16, the 58. Some of these drivers just not having the night that they predicted.
Miles has a way of reaching out, grabbing you by the shoulders and just shaking you around a little bit, and you never know what to expect at this racetrack. We've seen it in NASCAR races. You have the best car all day. You know, nobody can touch the speed you have, and the tire doesn't get tightened, and it rolls up against the outside wall and you go to the back, right? Like, this is just a weird racetrack. We've seen tires come right off. We've seen cars barrel down the banking. It's just how this place is.
It's bizarre to say the least. But what is not bizarre is seeing this 08 up towards the front here for the second stage. Let's see if Daniel Cunningham can use that clean air and the full effectiveness of these fresh tires as we get set to go back green for the second stage of the race here at Dover. Green flag is out into the Geico restart zone. We're live back in racing. The 58 laps remaining as we cross the line. We already saw it there, side by side with McCullough, almost 3 wide as they go into turn 3. There's Morton on the outside. He's going to pick up the spot. Kaufman, who didn't get a very good restart there, lost 2 positions, fell back to the 11th spot here. Now has the one of Sheets to the inside.
Sheets is really
Coming
struggling.
out of turn 2. Yeah, they are. Tell you what, Mullahan almost got into the side of somebody there as they were exiting turn 2. He's going to almost cut the nose off of the 1. Now the 5 of Kurtz, who's rebounding to the inside for 11th. Sheets drops another position. He's just getting freight trained right now, Morgan. He's all the way back to 15th. He's just trying to find a spot where it stops. He also has a little bit of front end damage, and I'm not exactly sure where he picked that up, but that left front fender entirely gone on the number 1. He now has the, I believe that was the 114 of Travis Bieber going by. The 48 who won the stage had some damage. He's going to go around. Now he finally is able to stop the hurting, stop the bleeding, gets to the bottom. He might get a spot back here as he goes to the inside of Bieber.
Yeah, the 1 was caught up in, I think, 2 cautions ago. He was part of that big melee into turn number 1. And he just tore the left front off this machine, and he is struggling to keep the tires on it. And that's what tire wear looks like, folks. He fell back. I think he started 5th on this restart, back to 17th already.
Speaking of wear, these guys up at the front, Jeremiah Hobbs is going to take over the lead. Alex Healy has worked up to 2nd now, and he's hot on the tail. But the leader previously for this restart, we were talking about Daniel Cunningham has fallen back to 3rd. And I saw a truck blinking back there. That was the 9 of Barrett Morton. He's since come back, but that's causing a little turbulence for each one of these straightaways. These guys don't know where they can pass him. They don't know where he is. Well, if you're Christopher McCauley, you got your hands full right now. 2 trucks that have been trying to pass him. Ron Morse Jr., Stephen Page have been back and forth on him. Actually, 2 or 3 times they've went back and forth themselves. Now starting to single file out, and I think we're settling down here. We're going to run this tire strategy to the brink. We're going to see about 30 laps, and I think if you're anybody in this top 5, you're going to split the run in half.
That's a lot of it you got to expect here at Dover being so short of a track. You're going 2 to possibly 3 laps down if you make a green flag pit stop. So these guys are going to have to be prepared to make that green flag stop if it does happen. Have to fight back to get those laps back if you have somebody that may be trying to extend one stint to have a little bit fresher tires at the end.
Morgan, in your experience, this is one of the most difficult pit roads to get on and off of.
Got
The
one spun
entrance
around on the
here.
backstretch.
Oh, that's Eric Parks, I believe. No.
Looks like it's the 11 of Dustin Rhinestone.
They're struggling again with the handling. That was down the front straightaway there with the 11 truck. And some more damage there. You saw him involved in the first caution here today. Doesn't look like he's been able to recover, so not a good day here for the 11 team.
And 93 into the 11, 11 into the wall. Good job avoiding him. I think that was the 03 that just drove around him. But yeah, both those trucks are going to have some pretty heavy nose damage.
I mean, if you look back a little bit prior to that, the 11 was already struggling. He lost about 7-8 spots, and now he's to the outside in a position he probably didn't want to be in, but the 93 did come up out of 4, got into him. Unfortunately, that's going to probably put another staple here in the day. You could look back and think, well, how much practice, how much time do you put into these races? How frustrating it can be to come out here and maybe not have the day that you factored in, or maybe get caught up in somebody else's business. But right now, I know Dustin Reinstedel is a competitive driver. He'll stay out. He'll wait this thing through, and he's got plenty of time to try to get this thing repaired and make the best of the situation. Back to 23rd now for the 11th truck. Got a few drivers that started up towards the front that have fallen out of the top 10. You want to talk about Travis Bieber, Sean Kaser, some of these guys that were up front to start this race. They're out of the top 10. Kaser actually coming back down pit road, it looks like. You got Nick Gardner, who's outside the top 10, that had been up towards that 7th, 8th position before he got caught up in a wreck. Chad Ross, who was up front, and the 48, who's snuck back into the top 10, but still has a lot of work to do. These guys have all struggled. Cody, if you had to put it in one perspective here, if you could use like one sentence to put how these drivers feel right now, how is the mentality on this race right now?
I'd say a lot of them are just frustrated. They started out pretty good. They went the first 20 laps without a caution, but once that first one happened and we got closer to that stage break, everybody just got antsy to get into that top 10, and it just spread melee from there. And unfortunately, now that we're into the final part of the race where each position is a full point for you towards the end of the season standings, everybody's trying to get that 1 point, and they may be driving a little bit more aggressive than what they should be racing at this short track, because right now I don't think there's a single truck out there that doesn't have a little bit of damage on it. I think everybody's either tapped the wall or gotten caught up in a wreck. I don't think there's a single truck without damage.
Morgan, the frustrations that go through your head, and how difficult is it to just kind of rinse your mind clean and get back to what you were doing to start this race? Because we saw some pretty good racing for the first 20.
Yeah, if you're the top 5, it's not hard at all. You're saying, I can still see the clean track in front of the leader. Things will be okay. If you're farther on back, you've been caught up in something, you're maybe Lucas Lyons, you're Barrett Morton, you're Healy, you're guys who have been involved in incidents, or you're farther back and you just got caught up in something, it's a lot harder to say, to center yourself, figure it out, go out here, turn some laps. There's still almost half the race, a little less than half the race to go. I can still make something out of this day. It's really difficult to turn that mindset around.
So on that note, we'll cleanse our minds as well and throw out a little plug here for Butt Kicker. If you'd like to feel what you've been missing, you can use our link down in the description below to help support the channel. as well as hitting that subscribe button as you scroll down. And you'll never miss a single race as we bring you every single league on the Overtake iRacing League. We have the Truck Series Monday, the Xfinity on Tuesday, triple booked here on V-Speed on Tuesdays here this week. I'm excited to announce that QSR will be coming back live, and BTDY, and then Wednesday we'll run off with the Racing Revolution Cup Series and the Overtake iRacing League Cup Series as well. But here we go, set back to go green. The pace truck has pulled off. Jeremiah Hobbs, Daniel Cunningham taking the green flag into turn 1. Already single
Three
files
wide
out,
coming
but
out
it's
of
3
two.
wide back here with the 6 and Mullahan in the middle. They're going to do it again. The 48,
Healy
the
got
Healy's
turned.
around. They're still wrecking it. Healy gets sent down pit road.
Didn't commit though. He'll be okay. He's gonna get that thing turned
He
around.
can pull out.
As long as
He can
doesn't
pull
go
out of it.
backwards too far. Looks like he's gonna be okay. But I think we know where this one started. Let's go back and have a look.
That's the 76 machine of Ron Morris Jr., and I'm not sure if he got into him before that point, but the 97 and him connects into turn 3. You can see the 3 wide that was ahead of them as well. And then Morton falls back. I don't know. I don't think you could really pin that on either one of these guys. They just got around Mullahan on the 6 car. Maybe a chopper camera could give us a better understanding. Maybe Healy came down a little early. I'm not entirely sure.
That's listening to race chatter. It sounds like Keeley is going to be claiming that with the rule set that we have. We did implement some new rules into the Overtake iRacing League. That if you claim 2, it's your lucky day. You get a 3rd strike. If race control has to pin a yellow on somebody, you get 2 strikes and then you're DQ'd. Go ahead.
Well,
Bradley.
I'm going back watching this on the chopper, and I think the 76 of Morris did come up into him.
It's a tough one. It could really go either way. I mean, you're getting to the point in the corner where you kind of have to go up to set yourself down to the corner, and I don't know. I would call that a racing deal most of the time. Yeah. Just a weird, kind of a weird incident there, and Dover.
Well, that's a
Dover
weird,
loves weird incidents.
weird piece of real estate too in that entry in this corner, because if you don't set that up right, you're not coming out the other side.
That's right. That's right. Evidently didn't make it anyway. So
Yeah, they didn't make it. Well, they almost made it to pit road. Alex had to do a U-turn, and you know, we say that jokingly. It's unfortunate. These guys, especially with Alex, he's been up in the top 10 all day long. So this is the first time he'll be restarting outside of it, back to 13th. Luckily, that entrance to pit road, I know we said how difficult it was to get on. Alex made it look pretty easy. He didn't hit anything.
yeah, and that's more than a lot of drivers can say. A lot of drivers miss pit road here, sailing it off into the tire barrier, or miss it completely, spin it on the racetrack. I've seen it in leagues with 5 cars on the track, still have somebody spin, miss pit road, cause a caution. This is a very difficult racetrack to get on pit road, and we shouldn't see that tonight. I don't think we have enough laps for any more green flag stops, so shouldn't have to worry about that under green.
We're right there on the cusp of what this truck can run on fuel, and everyone came back down except the top 2. So right now it's looking like the fuel strategy, who can make it to the end. Well, we've got about 20 trucks that are guaranteed. And then outside of that, there's a few question marks here. Jeremiah Hobbs, Bobby Hall, these guys that want to stay up front, try to avoid the carnage. I mean, you're going to have to pay the Pied Piper eventually and come down pit road. That's just going to have to happen. They can't make it to the end of this race. They're 20 and 26 respectively on the stint.
Add Lucas Lyons to that list. He's 19, coming to 20 this time on this stint. So those 3 trucks are going to have to pit unless they have an extra fuel cell somewhere in that machine, because they're not going to make it.
I think
Picked
some
up
of it
that,
goes to.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I picked that up from Justin Prince, the Pied Piper. I've been listening to him a lot on Fridays, so that was my best Justin Prince that I have. Shout out to him.
And some of it's coming down to this fuel strategy. These cautions are actually helping those 3 that have stayed out so far. That's the longer they go, the fresher the tires they're going to have towards the end of this, to where they can just fly by everybody. Because looking at it, you've got guys who are on their 3rd or 4th pit stop already. If they make a mistake of not turning their tires off to be changed, they're out of their tires already.
Been there, done that. But here is Jeremiah Hobbs to restart here on the outside. He'll take the green flag for what I believe, on a recap, will be the 7th time today. Here we go. Into turn 4. In that restart zone on the transition, that hump. Let's ride on board. Let's turn up the volume here. Why not? Let's bring some noise here on V-Speed for a couple laps and listen to the Monster Mile. Six cautions, 11 lead changes, and I'm riding back here with James Kaufman. He has his hands full. He has the 16 and the 6 of Mullahan. They've both tried to take a stab at this position. He's defended them off. He is working tirelessly, and when I say tirelessly, I don't mean he's exhausted. Is the 6 and the 16 make contact? Another yellow, maybe. We're staying green.
There's the yellow.
There it is. Our 7th caution of the night in contact. Looked like Nick Gardner and the 6 of Mullahan get together coming out of 4.
You know what the worst part of that was, Bradley? It broke up such a cleverly worded pun.
I know. I know. I thought I was doing really well. This was my best moment here on V-Speed, and we had a yellow that interrupted it. I meant tirelessly, as in the right front was gone. And speaking of right front being gone, you're going to see an example of that coming out of turn 4. These guys are going to get really tight. Mullahan has no track left to work with, and Gardner just tags that left 3 quarter. Here we go.
Well, you know what it was? Gardner got the apron.
Yeah, he touched that apron just a little bit, and whenever you touch that apron here at Dover, that's just a instant shoot up the track unless you're completely out of the throttle when you hit that.
Would not advise. 0 out of 10.
Yeah, that's a transition there, this concrete surface down to asphalt, because the apron of this track is asphalt. It's not raced on very much. And very slippery, the transition and banking. You're going from probably, what, 24 degrees down to about 8?
Yeah, something like that. And tires don't like it. Momentum doesn't like it. Physicist in the room could probably tell you why that's a bad idea. We just saw it with the 16 there. You touch that apron, like Cody said. You shoot up the racetrack into the side of the 6. Around you both go, and this track self-cleans top to bottom. Nobody else involved in this one.
That also brings down Jeremiah Hobbs comes down pit road. Lucas Lyons in as well. Bobby Hall Jr., the guys that we were talking about prior to this moment. So they officially pay in. They come and get that set of tires. They're going to fall back to about the 13th through 15th position. Now they're kind of in that catbird seat where things can happen in front of them. They don't have that clean air. And this racetrack has been producing a lot of yellows here tonight as we're about 2/3 of the way through it.
If I was one of those drivers who just pit, so that's Jeremiah Hobbs, Lucas Lyons, Bobby Hall Jr., Sean Kaiser, what I'd be doing right now is every restart, look to gain 2 positions. I don't care how you get them, but you got to go get them, because there's probably, at this rate, going to be a caution in the next handful of laps. Then, next caution comes out, hopefully some guys come and pit. You do the same thing. Grab 2 more spots, and you just rinse and repeat until we cross that 100th lap, or a green white checker, whatever the case may be.
Morgan, you forgot the part about dodging the wrecks. That is the most important part, because that can set you back. And with about 10, 12 trucks in front of you, there's a great opportunity for something to happen and get in your way and end your day. We've already seen a few trucks that are still in recovery mode. Nick Gardner again caught up in something else. Once you get back there in that mid-pack, anything can happen here.
You are right about that. We've said self-cleaning a number of times, and we saw it in a few of these incidents earlier in the day. You have an incident well in front of you, 10, 15 cars in front of you. There's cars, they think they're up on the top, now they're on the bottom. Well, the inside wall, now they're back up across the racetrack, and you really just can't figure out where to go unless you're crawling through these incidents. I think we saw the 25 do that earlier through turn 1.
Yeah, you're essentially trying to park your truck on the roof of a house when you stop in these corners, and, you know, trying to figure out where these guys are going to go. If you lock the brakes up, guys might think, well, it is a self-cleaning track, I'll go to the high side because they're going to come down, and then they end up in the door sitting in your lap. And, you know, it's really a spreadsheet of different guys do different things in response to how and where they are on the track. And you could lock it down and maybe be okay. You could just let the thing fly around and be fine. I mean, I've seen guys pinball off of every corner of every wall at this place and never hit a car. So it really amounts down to the talent, and you're putting a lot of faith in guys behind you to not run into that door. But lights are out on the pace truck here. 7 cautions. We're going to go back green for the 8th time today with our 12 lead changes. We're going to have about a third of this race left, and a lot of these trucks, I think, are good to go on fuel. Can they hold it out here with the strategy? Will we have another yellow? It's going to be Stephen Page and Christopher McCullough on the front row to restart. Hopefully we don't see a lag back here. Barrett Morton has been lagging back. It looks like he's pretty tight here on this restart. I know that inside line will be thankful for this, but Eric Parks back up into the top 5. He's going to try to get a spot away from that 38 who almost won the stage. Green flag is out, and already some tire spin all the way through, an accordion effect. That was almost like a synchronized tire spin. Back here with the 10, let's see if they can get 2 spots. That's what they need to do. On board here with Hobbs. He led some laps here today, had to come down pit road a little off sequence. 30 to go when they cross the line next time.
Here come 2 right here. Oh, he didn't force it 3 wide. Easily could have.
Still on board with Hobbs. While this is happening, though, this driver trying to get those 2 positions. He has the 94 on the outside, who's also in that mode. The 56 of Stephen Page and the 04 of Christopher McCullough have checked out from the field, almost a full second ahead. And so the race is on for the lead. Barrett Morton, he is in 3rd. Travis Bieber, the 114, rebounds into the top 5. And how about Eric Parks? I think he's went from the top 5 back to 23rd 3 times tonight.
I wouldn't be surprised if Barrett's trying to save that right front tire a little bit coming into the end, knowing that he has enough fuel to make it to the end, but he knows that that right front tire may not last that whole time.
Some of these guys in conservation mode, but the guys that are outside the top 10, they hit the go pedal. Chad Ross back to 9th here. After that restart, he was up into the top 5. He's back outside the top 10 now. Some challengers with Bobby Hall, James Kaufman. How about the 58 of Justin Branham to the inside of Parks now for the 6th spot?
And wrecking out of 4.
And that's a big wreck there in 10 car. That's not what you wanted, Morgan.
No, that is not going to work. That's not 2 spots. That's negative a few, but that all started with, I think it was the 58 missing hitting the apron and washing up, and then he had a whole bunch of issues there. But let's go back and have a quick replay here. See,
that starts the Healy.
97 off of the back bump, or off the front bumper of the 24. Let's go back a little farther.
Well, and that's before the 97 and the 24 get together. The 94 actually gets into the back of the 38, getting the 38 a little loose, and I think that's what causes the big stack up that gets Healy around.
Good shot of it here, top of your screen. There it is, 94 into the 38. They all check up. 24 doesn't see it. Around goes the 97, 6 into the 10, and great job avoiding that by the 08. That was just about a sandwich. Miles the Monster's favorite food.
That truck sandwich here. Got the 08. Can we get on board there with the 08?
Let's do
Watch
that.
him dodge this.
Let's do that here in just a second.
Hey, I'm making Morgan work overtime with the replay button.
There are here. One more lap after this, and we'll see how you avoid an incident from 5 cars back. This happened into turn number 3, rolling through 1 and 2 right now.
You'll see the check up here on the outside, and the 24 will get into the back. But if you're on board and watching, this is one of those moments where you don't know. Because any one of these trucks could just shoot up. Mullahan could have shot up to the outside to try to avoid it. You just pray. There's no room here at this racetrack. You just got to stick with your line and pray that you get through it.
That's, and you've seen Hobbs start to come up the track there, and you kind of seen it on that onboard with Cunningham, basically just days of thundering around the outside, just hoping that Hobbs didn't come up far enough to where he catches the back of his truck trying to get through there.
So the guys that were contesting this lead before these pit stops with about 33 to go, 76 stops on the racetrack. Ron Morris pulls off. Not sure what's going on here with the 76, if he's having a technical issue, but he actually is going to Alt F4 out of the session. He's having some connection issue.
Race Chatter says that his wheel malfunctioned.
He is back. There he is.
It actually disappeared there for a moment, and we saw all of the marbles that have been swept into the inside wall explode out of the back of that truck. You know, if you can go back on the replay and catch that or not, probably about 20 seconds back, you're going to see him park it, and then it just ruptures out of the back of the truck. Oh, yeah. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
There it is. Betty canned out that 76.
Well, and that's actually, he got a black flag with that incident. One of the new rules is once you get 17 incidents, you now get a drive-through penalty, trying to help clean up some of the lower divisions of the league with the amount of incidents that we were having post Martinsville. We implemented the 17X, you get the drive-through, and if you get to a 25X, iRacing's taking you off the track, you're DQ'd.
Speaking of off the track here tonight, maybe a terrible segue. Tom Hall, Peyton Hubbard, Kyle Mace, and Michael Robinson are done for the day. They have elected to take it behind the pit wall. Dustin Reinstedel 2 laps down, 42 laps down for Brian Kaser. And we have 22 trucks left on the lead lap. And so pass-through penalty here for the 76. You got Stephen Page going to lead the field, Christopher McCullough, and it's been Lucas Lyons finding his way back into the top 3. How about that? The stage winner has found a way to overcome after that damage. That was the stage win for the 48.
This 48 truck got a little bit of Kevin Harvick in him, because every race I've seen on V-Speed here over the last 3-4 weeks, this guy's always in the top 5 at the end of these races. I don't know how he does it, especially sideways across the line for the stage, but this 48, one to watch.
So leaving my bias at the door, 48 truck has had a phenomenal day. 94, Bobby Hall Jr. also on point. Can they snag it away Christopher McCullough, another one of those drivers. How about Stephen Page? We mentioned his name periodically throughout the season. Can he get his first win of the season? I believe he's winless here. He's come close. Here we go, back green in racing at Dover. Maybe a lane change there for the 04. Not sure if there's any rules against that, but he jumps back to the outside. And now the 48 truck on the restart, challenging for the lead. Page way up the racetrack here into 3 and 4. That's going to allow the 48 truck to get by with ease. And now a change for the lead here on lap 80.
That puts 48. 13. 48 and 94 are on the same tires, but you see the 94. Some contact
Chad Ross almost has some problems. They're 3 wide back there. Alex Healy in the middle of all of this. How about the 5 of Kurtz? He's coming off of turn 4. These guys shuffling for position. I think we have a variety of different strategies or guys saving tires, and they're hungry for positions. They're afraid this race might not go green to the end. Taking on board there with Nick Gardner. What is he doing right now? Where did this power come from? This truck has been damaged heavily here today. And look at that. Up to 6th spot now for the 16 truck. I guess if you leave seatbelts and an engine in this thing, Nick Gardner's going to find a way. And impressive here. How about the 03 as well? Up 16 positions into this top 5. He is going to lose a spot here as that Gardner goes to the inside. But the top 4, Bobby Hall, these trucks ahead, 2.5 seconds is the gap to the lead. Cannot clear. Nick Gardner's still pinned down on the bottom of the racetrack. He has the 114 of Travis Bieber now from 7th. They're 2 by 2, 6th position back to 12th. Truck with contact back there. That looked like Kaufman and Ross.
But Healy, I think Malla had blocking Healy down the front stretch. That was just about a big one. They both got through it.
So it was the 6 of Mollahan who came out of 4 a little sketchy. Put a block on the 97 to hold him back there. We're still green though. About 15 laps remain. Lucas Lyons takes over the lead on lap 80. He's starting to pull away from the 56 of Stephen Page. Bobby Hall in 3rd. The 04 of Christopher McCullough, who's been in the top 5 for the remaining half of this race. Tagging the wall, having some problems down the front stretch. There we're looking at the 58. Justin Branham, he's falling back to the clutches of some of these drivers. Nick Gardner, problems for him. He's falling out of the top 10 now. Bieber around on the outside to take away the 10th position. Side by side in front of him with Kurtz and Mollahan. Actually, Morton, rather, in the 9. Into 1. Almost runs out of racetrack. Maybe some 3 wide behind him with Kenneth McAuliffe struggling on this restart. He's out of the top 5. A block on the 08. Cunningham gets the door slammed by Kaufman. "13 laps remain." Into the inside now in turn 1. The 08, the 25 trying to pass. The 03, Kenneth McAuliffe Jr. has struggled since this lap went back green. The 38 now of Ross is going to pick up a position. Out of the top 10 for the 03. Alex Healy, John Mollahan, the next one's in line. Almost some contact again. On board with Alex Healy. I think he's got a face full of the 6 there. He's going to get around the 03 and now set his sights. The 6 and Mollahan a little tight on the exit. He's going to get right up on this bumper here on the exit of 4. You know he's going to put the pressure on him.
Mollahan's another one of those guys who's flirting with that drive-through penalty. That's Dover's not a track where you could really get an off track, but he's an off track away from getting his drive-through penalty. So If he's smart about it, he'll play it a little bit.
Oh, almost some contact there with the 24. He said he needed to be a little bit conservative, but he almost sent himself to pit road for the drive-through. Lucas Lyons, though, has checked out 1 full second for the rest of this field. He's pulled out from Bobby Hall Jr., Stephen Page. Bobby Hall up to second now. He got around Page. Justin Branham in the 58. Andy Kurtz up to the top 5. Car into the wall back there. That's Christopher McCullough. We're coming down to the very end of this race. We still have 8 laps to go when they cross the line. Plenty of opportunity for these guys to get upset again, but you can see how tight this racing's getting. The 08 of Cunningham looking for another position. Travis Bieber into the top 5.
Let's see if that few laps to save him by the 94 will give him a little bit of the edge coming into the last 7 laps of this race to catch that 48 and maybe get by him for the win.
The 48 has a lap truck in front of him. That's the 76 of Ron Morris. So he does have a truck that he has to get around. That could play a factor as well. Bobby Hall has shaved the lead down now to 9/10 of a second. Last time by, he was about half a tenth faster. That's James Kaufman around. And a popped engine there. It looks like for the 7.
Is that the 10?
Not sure who that was.
I think that was
that
Jeremiah
Hobbs?
Yeah, I think that's Hobbs.
Hobbs out of the race today. Heavy contact with, I believe, the inside wall. Let's see what happened here on the instant replay.
Oh, just didn't quite know where Morton was, and big issues here. Where's the 10 get involved? Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh no. Oh no. Well, let's ride on with the 10 here. Let's
We're
see.
taking on board. That's unfortunate there.
This happens, like we say, this is half a straightaway in front of them, and there's nothing you can do at Dover to avoid incidents like this.
I think you're going to see the 03 go low here. Where did the 03 end up there? Does he hit the brakes? No, I think he went to the outside wall with the 10.
I think the 03 may have checked up in time to get saved from getting sandwiched in there by the 10 and the 73.
So there's the 03's going to get passed right here. I think that car deflected away. Great job by the 03 seeing that and not becoming a part of it. Oh boy.
That brings out our 9th caution of the day. 13 lead changes. Lucas Lyons, who had over a second lead, now re-racked. Bobby Hall is going to be on the back bumper. We're going to have less than 5 to go here on this restart, but we're going to take a quick commercial break here live on V-Speed. We'll have the remaining laps and possibly a green-white checkered attempt here from Dover right after this.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
No, gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Dweck.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it at Auto Club.
Back here live from Dover, Delaware. Miles the Monster has consumed a lot of trucks here today. And the most recent one, Jeremiah Hobbs, off of the racetrack after leading some laps. He was up towards the front. He'll be back to 23rd position after that last caution. Lucas Lyons takes over the lead with about 20 to go. Here he sits in the front spot with Bobby Hall, Stephen Page, Justin Branham, and Daniel Cunningham, the top 5. I tell you what, it's been a great show so far. What's in store for us, Morgan, for these remaining laps?
Well, I think the top 4 are going to have to get the restart of their life here and dive into turn 1, hope it sticks, make out the other side of turn 2, and then take the fight to this 48 truck, because that's the only way you're going to be able to beat him. Is you got to get alongside him, might have to move him out of the way a little bit, but that is all you can do to get around Lucas Lyons here this last restart.
A natural green-white checkered here for the remaining laps of this race. We still have attempts at 3 more of them if we don't make it to the white flag. Here comes Lucas Lyons to hit the white, or the loud pedal rather. Down to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to start on the inside. He called it out. Will this be the wise call? Can he hold on to it? Green flag is out. We're back underway. Approaching that white flag. Will we make it back around, or does somebody have something for the 48? I don't think so, as he shoots out of the cannon. 08 to the outside for second position as they exit turn 2.
A 94 didn't get a very good.
They're still almost 3-4 wide. There's the 6 of Mullahan, but they're going to make it back around for the white flag. 1 lap to go, and Lucas Lyons has the lead. He's checked out from this field. Doesn't look like Daniel Cunningham will be able to catch up to him, but it's a shuffle for positions and heavy contact. Several trucks, the 5 of Kurtz, the 03 of Christopher McCullough, Kenneth McCullough. Lucas Lyons comes out of turn 4 for the final time today. He's going to win the stage. He's going to win the race. And Alex Healy's sideways. He's going to get 10th. And Lucas Lyons wins this race by about 1/10 of a second. I think had we had a couple more laps, Daniel Cunningham might have had something for him, but the 48 truck is able to hold on to it. Stephen Page gets the top 3. Let's go back here after he burns it down, his well-deserved victory. The SET truck, that Chevrolet Silverado, just, I mean, he rebounded. He called it out last night and was a fender shy of it. Here tonight, he had almost half a truck behind him, and making sure that 48 passes tech inspection, checking else in the ear, letting him know we got to wreck the back of this thing. Congrats to him, though. Let's take it back on this this final lap if we can, because Alex Healy, I want to get a good shot of this coming out of turn 4. Somehow ends up sideways across the nose of somebody and holds onto that truck. I don't know how he did it. The 3 wide behind him. That's Morton in the middle. Mullahan on the outside. Contact there with the 03. But watch this right here.
So this is coming to the white.
Oh, this is to the white flag. Not sure if he had contact or if he was tight and then drive off loose. I don't know exactly. There's the big wreck with Kurtz. And then 3 wide there going into 3. Watch this coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, big time tight with the 38. Yeah, just a whale of a job saving that truck.
Post-race interviews with your top 3. We're going to have Lucas Lyons, Daniel Cunningham, and Stephen Page up here in the broadcast booth here on V-Speed. You're watching the Overtake iRacing League Truck Series live on the YouTube channel. We're going to take another quick break and bring you those interviews right after this.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The Mile gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes
Swack.
Swack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it at Auto Club.
Back here live, Miles the Monster claimed a lot of them today, but ultimately it came down to the stage winner. After getting some damage, he was able to rebound and come back to the top point, and Lucas Lyons gets the victory here today at Dover. Second position goes to Daniel Cunningham, Stephen Page in third. Bobby Hall falls back to fourth spot after an impressive run there towards the end of this race. Travis Bieber finds his way into the top 5 after gaining. I feel like he passed 100 cars here tonight, but he only gains 1 spot. Justin Branham actually gains 9 positions to 58. Is going to bring it home 6th. Christopher McCullough, after an up and down day, the 04 gets 7th. Sean Kaser, your pole sitter, he will finish back in 8th. Alex Healy holds on to it just in front of Chad Ross for the top 10.
Coming home 11th, Wes Wiegand didn't say his name once today. Quiet Day finishes P11. John Mollahan, we said his name a bunch. He's up 10 to 12th. Baron Morton comes home in 13th. Nick Gardner from the back to the front to the back to the front winds up in the middle in 14th. 113, Daniel Worthington finishes 15th. Ron Morris Jr. in 16th. Hoffman, Parks, Sheets, and McCullough are going to round out your top 20.
Going to the guys who had a not so pleasant night coming home in 21st. You're going to have Andy Kurtz, 22nd, Dustin Reinstedel. 23rd will be Jeremiah Hobbs. 24th, Brian Kaser. 25th, Thomas Hall. 26th, making a pretty early exit, Peyton Hubbard, along with 27th, Kyle Mays, and 28th, Michael Robinson.
Rounding out your field here today, some of these drivers that had up and down days and sticking it through. You got to shout out to Nick Gardner ending up in the middle of this field after being involved in 2 cautions. Ron Morris Jr. and a couple of them here today as well had the technical issues, still ends up 16th. So some of these guys that the race didn't go exactly as planned, but it could have been a lot worse. And, ultimately it comes down to how do you handle these situations? And the Monster Mile was not kind to half of this field. But Lucas Lyons probably feeling like $1 million here today as he's able to get that victory on V-Speed. However, we're down on pit road first. We're going to talk to Stephen Page, and we have Cody Anderson down there alongside.
Stephen Page, Cody Morgan, and Bradley in the booth. You got a copy?
10-4, got you.
Coming home 3rd place tonight. Walk us through how you survived this melee of our 9 caution race to come out with that 3rd place spot tonight.
Well, I had a little bit of luck, for sure. I made it through some of the cautions. I got nicked a little bit, but I didn't have too much damage. Got a 4X earlier on in the first caution, and I thought we were going to be in trouble because we stayed out there that last caution, and a couple of the trucks behind us. I know the 94 had better tires. A couple of guys had better tires, but luckily we were able to hold them off. But we were tight for sure.
That's coming to that last restart. You said that you were worried about some of the trucks that were behind you. What was going through your mind? Were you wanting to get it done on that natural green white checkered, or were you hoping to use up some of the 3 extra green white checkered attempts there to see if you could maybe advance a little bit?
Honestly, I kind of was glad we went ahead and got it over with, to be honest.
All right. Well, before we drop you out of here, you want to say thanks to any of those sponsors or anybody that's on that truck for you?
Yeah, I'm going to give a shout out to Fast AF Designs, Daniel and Ashley Freeman, Page Lawn Care for paying the bills, and give a shout out to my Team 3 teammates. Always keep me with my strategy and what I need to be pitting, and all that kind of good stuff.
All righty. Well, congrats on the third place tonight. We got Stephen Page coming home third place driver.
Well, congrats to Stephen Page and able to survive. I'm now down here alongside with the 08 of Daniel Cunningham, and he gained 18 positions here tonight to put this thing up here on the podium. See here with Daniel. I tell you what, Daniel, you probably felt like this truck just was held together by string and paper clips at some points in this race. These guys were racing on the edge of every exit. You avoided it. You stayed, I believe, incident free here tonight, if I'm correct on that. Nope, you got 2 here tonight, but you were one of the few drivers that kept it below double digits. It was a rough one tonight.
Yeah, just really fortunate with all the wrecks that did take place. The only incident that I got was when I was checking up for one of the ones in the first stage, and somebody behind me got hit, and it shot them into me and gave me a 2x. But yeah, it's Eddie Smith made the comment about my race over in Goat Locker on Friday night that it's kind of like that gif of the dog that's in the apartment that's on fire, and you're just saying everything is fine. That's kind of how it felt tonight too. It seemed like every wreck, every incident, which a lot of that's on me because I just absolutely screwed up qualifying terribly. I mean, that was a pretty pathetic qualifying effort on my part tonight. So yeah, just really lucky I was able to dodge it, not get run over, not T-bone somebody sliding down the track. So I'll definitely take second place, all things considered, with that.
Well, I'm sitting here looking at your profile picture in the Discord, and as I look at it, I imagine that that's kind of how you felt when you got by some of these guys and saw them wrecking in your mirror tonight.
Not tonight, actually. I mean, usually whenever these races are, I don't want to trash it. Usually whenever they're chaotic, I'll say it that way. Usually I start getting frustrated, and I'm like, come on, let's just get a freaking green flag run in here. But no, tonight I was actually just kind of laid back, chill. I don't really know what the difference is other than I love Dover. So I guess it doesn't even matter if it's kind of a chaotic race with a little bit of eye pacing going on. I just love the track. This used to be one that I hated coming to, but it's grown on me over time.
Speaking of growing, you had the asphalt shades there with the rubber building onto this concrete surface. You had all the growing of the pack and the movement here with the top 5 in and out. And I think everybody that started up at this top 3 didn't remain in the top 10. I mean, you gotta think back at the rhythm of this race. It started out a little bit more of a common, overtake iRacing League race where it went green and you guys had a lot of battling to do. So now you find yourself in second position. Is it a surprise here tonight, or do you feel like you were confident coming in?
I was confident before qualifying, and then when I went out and just absolutely just messed that up, I was like, all right, well, maybe I don't got it tonight. But for whatever reason, all night long, I just didn't really have the fire off speed on restarts. I don't really know what I was doing wrong or different. I mean, the only reason why I was able to kind of make something happen on that last restart was because I had a little bit fresher tires than all the guys in front of me. But I mean, without that, when I was on equal tires to everybody else, I would give up 2, 3, 4 spots every single time. But once we did kind of get some green flag runs going, I was able to start picking some guys off and make up a little bit of ground again. So, yeah, I wish we definitely would have had some longer green flag runs. I kind of feel like if it would have went green to the end and we didn't have that late caution, I probably still would have finished on the podium, either second or third. I definitely didn't have enough time to catch Lucas with the lead that he had built. But yeah, just with the fire off speed, it's a little surprising, but long run, not. So, probably about where I would have ended up at, somewhere in the top 5, even without the calamity.
Well, Daniel, you got a lot of stickers on the bed of that truck. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out for tonight's performance?
Yeah, appreciate y'all, everybody at V-Speed doing the broadcast. Y'all do an amazing job. Love going back and watching these after the fact. all the admins that put all the work into the series. I know Alex has been working overtime with this thing to try to get some of the on-track product cleaned up. And even though it's still a little chaotic tonight, I feel like you're starting to see the fruits of that with some more green flag racing still. Appreciate all my teammates at Bandits and C2 Motorsports, and just appreciate everybody that puts all the work in for it.
Well, Daniel Cunningham coming home in second position. He gained 18 spots to earn his podium here today at Dover. Congratulations to him. And we'll move down to Victory Lane, where Morgan Cook is alongside Lucas Lyons, a familiar name there on V-Speed. Take it away, Morgan.
Lucas, it's Morgan, Bradley, and Cody up in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
And that I do, Morgan.
Well, it seems like I talk to you every day of the week because we're always up here on the podium, V-Speed here. This one was a little different. You won the stage, sideways, across the line, I might add. Went all the way to the back because it repaired some damage, all the way back up to the front. What was it like going through this race today?
Very stressful. There was a bunch of wrecks going on, and the first time I came down pit road, which I only had 11 seconds, it really wasn't that bad on damage. I just forgot to put tires on it, so I came back down, put tires on it, and slowly, I took your advice on each restart and gained 2 spots, and just kind of slowly did that. And as the run went longer and longer, I kept trying to save the tires, which is really, really rare for me to do in the first place. And I'm honestly really glad I did. And I will say, I have never been more upset of a caution coming out than that last one.
Well, luckily for you, it didn't cost you very much, as you obviously were still able to rock it off on that restart. And it probably made it a little bit easier for you, having just to nail that one restart. Leader has such a big advantage, especially on the bottom. You think you pulled out to a 3-4 car lead by the time we got down to turn 1. So at that point, you have that lead. Are you just thinking out the windshield, don't use the mirror, turn it off, and go collect that checkered flag?
It's actually the opposite. I was looking at my mirror the whole entire time. I was rarely looking in front of my windshield because I knew new tires was going to be coming and in a hurry. Just because if you run 5 laps and someone comes and gets fresh tires, it's definitely noticeable. And I knew Daniel was on fresher tires. Me and him were talking the whole entire time. Besides on that restart, when I'm like, "Hey Daniel, I got to zone in. I got to go out there and beat you, man."
Well, that you did. You got him by just under 0.2 of a second. Congratulations on the win tonight, Lucas. Lot of stickers on that machine. Why don't you go shout them out?
First, I want to thank Southeast Tutoring, Cofield Asphalt Refinishing, Cofield Supply and Service, Honor Home Loans, Fearless Creations, Gaming Chef, E-Racing Designs, Top Tier Tees, Scotty Oliver Racing, 213 Simware, everyone at Bandits and C2. I want to thank Max for coming in and watching. I want to thank Matthew Bappy for actually teaching me how to save tires here. I want to thank SM Racing Products. If you use code Lucas Lyons, you can save 15% off. Helps you, helps me, helps everyone. And I want to thank you all for putting this on, and the OiL Racing League for also putting this on.
That is your winner, Lucas Lyons, here at Dover this evening in the original. That's not the wrong one. I'm sorry. So I used to say original Rebels Racing League. Lucas, I'm sorry. The Overtake iRacing League. Congratulations, Lucas.
Thank you.
We'll send it back to Bradley.
Well, it happens to the best of us, Morgan. It was
man.
a fun one, though. And I mean, you got all these O's and OKs, and we're going to bring out some more racing here for you tomorrow night as well. The Overtake iRacing League Xfinity Series is going to bring it to Richmond Raceway for their short track debacle. I don't know if it would be a debacle. I think they're going to do fine. I think overall, the Xfinity League has been probably the cleanest racing that I've seen. Unfortunately for me, I joined one race at Indianapolis. It didn't go well for me, but that besides the point. It's been a fun one here in the Truck Series, and your winner here tonight, Lucas Lyons, getting it done. But it was a fun one overall. I think when we bring you triple racing tomorrow night with QSR simulations and BTDY, I think you guys will have a variety of everything with short tracks, super speedways, and mile and a halves. So we look forward to tomorrow night. But for everybody here at V-Speed that put this thing on, made this possible, Adam Baker with the graphics in the background, all the things he does behind the scenes, our producers, Morgan Cook, Eddie Smith, and Christian Hill. Co-commentator of the night, Cody Anderson, joining us up in the booth. I'd like to thank him as well for putting his time in and helping us out here at V-Speed. And then, Morgan for all that he does, pushing the buttons and filling in the blanks here when I forget what I'm going to say. This is Bradley Cooper telling you guys to have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you tomorrow night at 8:30 or 9 o'clock. Until then, take care, everybody, and have a great day.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The Mile gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes
comes
Zwack.
Zwack.